Uncivilized Vitality. In this video will be about value and the 12th tool, which are beads, and why we use them. All right, so this video is going to be about our beads, our 23 merit beads, why we use them, and one of the ways they represent one of the families of tools. In Uncivilized Vitality, we teach that all human cultures, ancient and into historic times, have had a lot of things in common. These would be the tools or the technologies that these different groups have used. We have the 8 families that we use, of tools that we use in fieldcraft, things like clothing and shelter, containers, cordage, fire starting, the sling and spear, salt and needle, the book, fire and light, those kind of things. There are 4 other tools which you can read about in volume 2 that's coming out soon, and they are the flute and drum, the yardstick, dice, and beads. I'm not going to talk about the others yet, but these aren't quite as applicable to fieldcraft, so we don't really go into them too much in the day-to-day training or on the campaigns. But we do talk about them in the sense of their importance to human society. So we're going to talk about beads today and what beads represent. So, I forgot to move my barbell. Beads represent the earliest idea that we have of trade and barter, or what eventually became economics and money and the use of fiat currency and such. And it really comes down to just being able to interact with each other and other humans for things of value. So we might value something. For instance, if, and that value can vary. For instance, if I were very, very hungry and you had to dig a hole or dig a trench and you needed to dig for whatever reason, and I had a really cool digging stick that would save you a lot of time instead of just using your hands to scratch at the dirt and rocks, my digging stick would be very valuable to you at the time. Let's say you have 5 fish. You can eat 2, you have 3 extra fish, so the value of the fish is not as great to you as it would be to me who is hungry. So we could work out a way to, hey, you can take my digging stick, I'll take the 3 fish. We both get value from each other by making that trade. Usually, and I just had this discussion with Mark on the trip home in the Blue Whale from family camp. Those of you that know what that means will probably laugh because it was like 100 degrees out. And we were just talking about value and a book I'd read on economics that talk about the 4 ways that you can get something that you value from another human being. And the first one is, we don't use the 2 and 3. We'll talk about that. The first one is just ask for it. Hey, I'm starving. Can I have a fish? Right? And then might share the fish with me. You know, on a certain level, at a smaller scale, altruism, he just wants me to not go hungry, and he might value my help later in the future. If I just ask, he might just give me the fish, right? Gift giving and reciprocity fall under number 1. We can talk about that later. The second way is I could just kill him and take his fish. Kill him, take it. You see right away how we frown on that one in a well-functioning society. I don't want to say civilized society, because in civilization, this seems to be the route that most of the time we take. Oh, they have oil or mineral rights in that country we want, we'll just invade or whatever, but let's not go too far down that rabbit hole. The other way is I could wait till he's sleeping and steal the fish. So you can see 2 and 3, killing and stealing, are not going to be optimal solutions. The one we came up with eventually for a larger scale, because asking for reciprocity is good on small things, trade or barter, right? So trading and bartering came up, like I said, with the digging stick and the fish. Hey buddy, give me some of those fish so I can eat, I'll give you this cool digging stick. I see you're trying to dig a hole. We each value, we assign an intrinsic value to the thing that the other has, and we just make a nice trade, an equitable trade. This works out pretty good, again, on a pretty, even a larger scale. And this can be goods, services, territory, rights and obligations. You can barter with a lot of things. So, getting back to beads, what happened is eventually at some point human beings came up with a way to represent value with a third item, like some shiny beads or some really cool shells, or maybe even eventually stamped metal coins. And it would work, like let's say you have to transport, you're going to move across this sea, maybe the Mediterranean Sea, and you have 5,000 bushels of wheat you want to take with you. I would say, you know what, my cousin Jeff lives on the other side of the sea. He's got wheat. Why don't you give me your 500 bushels? I'll give you this little metal coin. When you get there, find Jeff, give him the coin, and he'll know to give you back 480 bushels of wheat. So you're going to lose a little bit of the wheat. That's my profit that I make, called usury, which probably is what led to civilization, but I don't want to digress onto that. And then you don't have to transport all that wheat. You just have to carry that small coin. And eventually, a really brief economics lesson, that developed into our money system. Well, I am pointing out that bartering is a great thing even to this day, even in this overly civilized times. Start looking, well, actually, you know what? I wouldn't on YouTube. Far be it for me to suggest that people start to barter and keep civilization of the state and their tax collecting out of my business. I provide something of value to you, you provide something of value to me. We've both assigned value to it and come to an agreement that's built on trust and reciprocity, and that's nobody else's business. Far be it for me to suggest that people start doing that again. But bartering and trading is a great thing to do. Okay? So that leads me back to beads. It was very common, especially in North America and places along shore where they had access to beads made out of bone or stone or shell, and they would make those trinkets. There's a lot of time that go into shaping and polishing these decorative items. So there's some intrinsic value because of the time put into it. And using that as a bartering option allowed people to recognize the amount of time that went into that, and they would use as sort of a stand-in for a placeholder for value for maybe later. So that was one of the things that beads represent as a universal bartering tool in all human societies. In the Uncivilized Vitality, we use the beads to represent merit. So we call them merit or our ability beads. They're the 3 lost abilities that help you become a fully actualized human, self-sufficient, and helping get to the point where you can guide yourself and others out of that allegorical cave of civilization and get back out becoming a fully actualized human. And along the way, you're going to earn some shields, you're going to earn your spears with healthy habits, experience, and then our ability beads or our merit beads. There are 23 of them, and they're going to represent the 3 lost abilities. So there's capability, and there are 12 of these, and these are in no particular order, but these are beads you're going to earn, and how you earn them is in the handbook. You can get that by joining a local chapter or getting it from Amazon, starting to work on your beads. There are lots of YouTube videos demonstrating different aspects of these, how to get the beads, what they're about, so you can check that out. One of the first we recommend is getting a first aid bead, right? And there's a list of requirements there. There is a shelter bead, right? There is a forage bead, which has to do with mostly getting clean potable water, but also food, hunting, gathering, that sort of thing. Sheltering yourself from the elements, obeying the rule of 3s, meaning you can only go about 3 hours without adequate shelter from heat or exposure or cold. So that's an important one. We have the morigami bead. That's that cloth tool we use for everything. You demonstrate a variety of uses. Learn your knots. Right? I don't know if there's 24 or 36 basic knots. I keep adding to them every time it comes up, but it's in the handbook. Some other knots that are in your capability area are going to be natural movement, right? Learning to move properly, parkour, Pilates, MoveNat, animal flow, just getting out there and using your body in a way that's different than just exercise, but more like natural movement. Following right on the tail of that is your combatives bead, learning and appreciating basic self-protection skills. Swimming bead, The swimming bead, so those three kind of do with natural movement, and being able to swim is like a basic skill. You should start like really young. Get your kids out there, get them swimming, get them comfortable around the water, so they're not having any accidents when they're out swimming. Right? So a swimming bead, you're going to want to earn your fire bead, and this is not just starting fire. This is fire safety, being able to use fire properly as a tool, being able to fight fire, being able to understand when you need a fire, when you don't need a fire. I know the bushcraft community is just very gung-ho on starting fires everywhere in all conditions, but fires are not always necessary. We have the Stay Sharp bead, which is a little program I've designed to teach. Well, it's mainly geared at children, like when my kids were little, but I use it for adults too, and you go through this. And it teaches awareness and proper use and care of your sharp tools, your knives, your axes, your saws, and even your shovels, and your weaponry too. So Stay Sharp, I'm gonna put a little all rights reserved by that, because that's my little, my program. There's also your philosophical bead, where you're gonna discuss the 13 guidings, and I make sure you are capable of disseminating that information. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What bead are we missing? Oh, the Wayfinder bead. So you're outside. This is about your orienteering and not getting lost. This is about keeping yourself unlost in the wilderness. Then we have your adaptability beads. Your adaptability beads. First one is going to be your pacing bead. This is the acronym we've adopted: primary, alternative, contingency, and emergency plans. Being able to anticipate what you're going to deal with when you go outside, being prepared for emergencies, thus adaptable, or events, not emergencies. But how much gear do I need? What gear can I safely leave at home? What's the weather going to be like? Roughly, we don't look at the Weather Channel, because it's, you're going to be outside, it's going to rain, it's going to sun, whatever. You got to be prepared. But having these plans in order in your mind, these layers, help you be adaptable to whatever situations and events come up. You're going to want to work on your, well, there's two ways we call this bead: your communications bead or your leadership bead, because good leadership is good communication. And this will help as you're moving up through the ranks, tenderfoot, wayfinder, up to elder, moving on to guide. This will give you some of the skills you need to adapt to situations where you are responsible for other people. Then there are the 4 keeper beads. These are beads that you earn on events or campaigns by filling these roles and taking on responsibilities. And we use the 4 elements: fire, water, air, and earth. So let's say you've been on 6 campaigns and you've been the fire keeper on 2 of those. And then you demonstrate a few other things by being an echo, which was what we call the assistant, and you go through there, earn your keeper bead. So this is kind of an experiential thing. Then the fun beads at the end we use for merit beads are our durability beads. So durable means pertaining to being tough, right? Durability. This is helping you withstand change that you can't really affect. So we have these durability beads because as you get through that, you show you've kind of risen to the challenge of earning these beads. Because this is not just as simple as memorizing and performing or demonstrating a list of like 30 knots. These you have to actually experience. The first one is the long walk. And everybody likes that one. We have Manitou Island coming up this fall. That's a perfect time to get the long walk bead out of the way. We have the sitting stone bead. This one, usually a lot of people knock that out at family camp on the beach because that makes it somewhat pleasant or less than unpleasant. We have the silent tree. That one's harder than you'd think to get. And again, details, these are in the handbook, or we have some other videos. You can work on your fasting bead. This is with supervision. All of these beads require witnessing and such. It's good to do them on campaign. And then there's the the cold weather bead, but now we call that, I changed the name to Fimble Winter because it seems more poetic and fun. All right, so, and this is not just going out once or twice in the cold weather or below freezing. You have to rack up at least 6 nights out in the single digits or below 0 temperatures. So those are the merit beads. We have 23 of them. We sometimes make up beads. Like Michelle earned her saute vegetable bead this weekend. That's just a joke, Michelle, you're not getting the bead. Or, you know, her jump off the waterfall for the first time in her life bead, so that was cool. We like to make the beads up. So these are the 23 official ability beads. They help you trace or track your progress through the uncivilizing process along with the shields and spears. Beads are used as one of the 12 main tools because they were early on a representative of value. They were a value holder, and which led eventually to the development of economics and other things. Once we started to disregard the intrinsic value to someone else for some property or service or act or goods that you wanted, and we started to lay on usury or the act of charging interest and making basically something out of nothing, making money and on the trades. I think that was one of the first steps to becoming too civilized. So leave some comments below if you're interested in the beads. The other thing you do with the beads, what I do with them is I keep our beads come in I prefer in a bracelet form. You can run them just on a string, you wear them around your neck, but I like to fidget with mine and play with them, and you know, just something to do. So it gives you something to do when you're bored. You can count and use them for meditation or prayer beads. They have a lot of different uses. We don't actually trade away our merit beads. We just keep track of them and let you, like I said, trace what you're doing in your process. So you can sit down and say, oh, this one is my long walk bead, and you tell someone what you did to get that. This one represents my first aid bead. I had to pass these tests. This one is my knots bead. I know at least 30 different knots. So they're very good as a motivator and as a progress indicator. You can also be at camp, maybe you have a question, you look around the camp and you see someone that's got a full bracelet of beads and someone that only has 1 or 2 beads so far. You could kind of guesstimate the time they've spent or the information they might possess and know who to direct that question to. So that's it for beads. Leave some comments and questions below if you have any other questions about beads. And other than that, feel free to check out the book, the handbook, or the volume 1 that has to do with spear points. Healthy Living, volume 2 that has to do with the tools is coming out soon. You can pick up those books at a local chapter. You can join a local chapter, probably be mid-Michigan, maybe Arizona where the Wanderer is at, and then Rock and Annie are in Wisconsin. They also do Uncivilized with us. So hopefully we get more local chapters and you get started earning your beads. Buy me a coffee, that helps us support the channel, and the uncivilizedlivingfoundation.org. You can head over there and make a donation if you're in the mood or so inclined, and help us get the Uncivilized program out and the lessons that come from living in nature to those groups that are not served as well or might not be able to get out camping and back out into nature. So that's it. I just wanted to ramble about my beads for a minute, and this time I made sure the microphone was working because I did this earlier this morning first thing in the day, and didn't turn the microphone on, so it's just me going and, you know, moving my beads around. I almost did a voiceover or just left it and let you figure out what I was talking about, but I decided to reshoot it. That's it.